we have in Bridgeport.
So we got Pee-wees, we got first through sixth.
First and second, third and fourth, and then fifth and sixth. So
that's a nice, and that'll go from when to when?
We have our first scrimmage next weekend, and it'll go through March 17th or March 13th.
Now, kids that that are interested in this, is this a more local program?
It pretty much we pretty much have Bridgeport Township kids. We don't restrict it to that, but that's pretty much what our target market is when we do our local programs, because we can't really have the gym space to grow up much larger than that.
So this will carry you through the fall. What do you got that happens in Parks and Rec winter and spring and next summer?
Really, our most active time is the spring and the summer, and that's with our baseball and softball programs. Bridgeport, we are a smaller community, but we've created a couple programs. We have the Dixie Youth Softball League and the Valley Youth Baseball League. And what we do, we've partnered with local communities so that we have more teams in our league. So Frankenmuth, Carlton, Birch Run, Millington, even down into Montrose, we all play in the same league together. And it kind of runs through my office. I do all the scheduling and things like that.
Wow.
So we actually have 92 teams that participate in our...
All the way out to Billington.
Yeah. And actually we go out to the west side, or to the west side of the state also when we get into our Pony League. Yeah. We have the Tri-Valley Pony League. We have Swan Valley, Merrill, Hemlock, Freeland. It's quite expansive, but it works out nice for all of us because the competition, there's more teams to play. Nobody likes to play the same 2 or 3 teams every time. Sure. So now our leagues average about 12 to 14 teams in each division. So you're getting out, you're seeing other communities, you're playing, you're not playing the same teams all the time. So it's been working out really well.
I have to admit that I haven't heard of anything like this in another part of our community or mid-Michigan. Are there other counties that do anything like that at all, or that you can compete against, I suppose?
I've seen it in football. There is the Mid-Michigan Rural Football League, and they have teams from down towards past Flint, all the way up into Bay City, and they do a schedule. But nothing like this for baseball and softball to this degree, where it's run out of one community, but really it's a multi-community league. So that's really very nice. Well, all right. Now, how about we've got what we've got on the plate now, what the kids can do. What are you looking at for your future? What else is out there for our kids? Our big one is for the Anderson Complex Phase 3 is we're looking at bringing in a spray park.
What's a spray park?
It's water features.
Oh, okay.
It's zero depth, so there's no standing water. So it's we don't have to worry about any risks like that. But the water guns, you have the water that bubbles up from the ground and different things like that. So we have that designed into the complex and where it'll go, and we'll start fundraising for that aspect once we're done with this. Yeah. And then the other big project that we're looking at is our trail system. We've just, as you know, our historic bridge, the State Senator Bridges, is getting redone, and that's actually going to be the trailhead. Yes, it got moved yesterday, actually. Yeah. So that actually heads into Lyle Park, which is one of my parks, and the Fort Road Bridge is getting redone, and they're putting an 8-foot expansion on that, so pedestrian walkway. So we'll be working on connecting our trail system and having that all together.
Or throughout this the county, and actually beyond the county, we're looking at rail trails and the connection of those. Will you be ultimately connected through the rail trail system too?
We hope so. Birch Run's been really active in starting their connection with the rail trail, and then we would be the next logical partner. So we'll look at that. And there's the Cass River Greenway, or Riverway, excuse me, and that organization, they're looking at creating stops along the Cass River for canoers, kayakers, and different things. And we're involved with that group, and actually 3 of the communities just received a DNR trust fund grant also to put accessible docks in.
Really?
And they got up to Frankenmuth just before the dam, and then once everything's completed there, they'll continue down the Cass, and we've actually have a meeting scheduled for a couple weeks to see where a nice location in Bridgeport Township along the Cass would be for that. So
I talked to one of the county commissioners, Cheryl Hansel, about trails and rail trails, and she was really interested in the one out in Bridgeport, or in Birch Run, and what might be done to connect that along. So there might be things not only at the state level, things that is from the local giving community, but the county with their financial struggles too, still hasn't stopped looking for things that they'd be able to do.
It's always a tough time, but it's such a benefit to our communities to be able to get people to get out and to recreate and have opportunities to do different things. It really strengthens us, you know, as a Great Lakes Bay region. So we really have to look at what we're offering our citizens and what we can do to attract more businesses and attract more people to stay here. And recreational opportunities is a great way to do that.
That's a very good point. These days, people are looking for the quality of life issues as a part of the entire living experience. They're looking for a job, where they're going to live, how they're going to raise their kids, what schools are like, these sort of issues. And finding a way to do them is, well, part of your responsibility and my responsibility. As we're closing down, we're getting to the end of the time we got here. What sort of things do you, with looking across our community, you see in the wind for people like me and other legislative people to be looking at that would be helpful for these goals?
That's a good question. I think as we get out in our community, we find out what our citizens want, and that's one of the things that we've tried to do in Bridgeport Township is there programs that we're not offering, and once we get that information, then to take it on to the next level to see how we can make sure that this happens. So. I'm just very, very fortunate that you met with us very early on, and
it was fun,
and kind of took this project under your wing, and we really appreciate all the support that you've given us, and appreciate your time. So just being able it's
open-ended. If you come up with another one, we'll do what we can to make that come through too, because it does help the quality of life. For everybody, and particularly a group of kids that is in particular need, and that doesn't see that very well.
With that, the key that we look at with the Anderson Complex and the American League and stuff like that, it's not only what we're doing for the kids that have disabilities, but also what we're doing for their families, for their mom, their dad, their grandma, their grandpa. I had a parent come up to me, and she was so excited because she never thought that she'd have the opportunity to see her oldest son participate in athletics. And it was extremely difficult because they have a younger son that doesn't have any disabilities. And as a parent, you're torn because you can see you're so excited about your one child that's able to go out and do all these things. Then you have another child, and those opportunities aren't there. And it creates a lot of stress and tension, and it's hard. And so it's not just about the kids, it's what we're doing for our community. In the American League, we're going to offer opportunities for people to be buddies. So they'll be able to go out and work with the kids and help them get around the bases and do things like that. And we're breaking down barriers. We're educating people on kids with disabilities. Bottom line is they're kids. They have feelings, they laugh, they cry. They're just like anybody else. And so this is a great opportunity to utilize athletics once again, to make our communities better. And that's very exciting. When we did it, the American League game with Zach Miner, we used our varsity baseball players as the buddies. And it was a great experience for them, not only to meet Zach, but a lot of our kids, their varsity baseball players, they'd never really been around kids with disabilities that often. And to be able to go out there and do that, I had one of the players come up and he's like, that's one of the greatest things I've ever done. To be able to be there for another kid to play baseball and to really experience it. So it's those kind of things that make my job special and enjoyable, and why we kind of look to do programs like this.
I think that kind of says it for all of us interested in our communities. This is Senator Roger Kahn, having the great honor of having Eric Rutherford here to talk about opportunities in parks and recreation, and in particular for kids with disabilities. Thank you for joining us on the Capitol Report today.